Hi, Jim Rupp here at Columbus Percussion. Show you a really cool Camco kit we have. This came from an old friend and customer who was a player in LA and got these in LA, I think in late 70s. I'm dating these as mid-late 60s as they have an Oak Lawn USA badge and they have steel hoops on the toms on the drums. You got an 8x12, 9x13, 16x16, 22-inch bass drum. Cool thing, it has a custom Valley Drum Shop snare drum. These obviously were Jasper shells. I'm not sure if I can tell this was a Jasper or Keller was even around at that time. But it's got Slingerland Magnum casings, a die-cast top hoop, and a pearl, kind of a vintage pearl, Gladstone style throw. Really cool old drum, which I guess was used by a lot of studio guys at the time. A few minor issues. Overall, I'd say these drums are in amazing shape given their age and everything. Obviously a vintage or a virgin bass drum. You have a couple small scuffs on the bass drum, but being blonde, you know, you really don't see those. Same thing on the tom. There's a 13-inch tom has a scuff here. A couple other minor issues. Somebody did take the vintage Camco mufflers off. They, as we all know, they tend to rattle or make noise, but they did a nice job of patching with a bolt, so they could be, if you wanted to put them back on, they could be put back on if you can find them. This guy, like I said, was a player in LA, so he replaced the Camco mounts, which were a bit rickety, with these Tama mounts bolted into the shell. I believe, though, if you wanted to put the original Camco mounts back on, they would cover these holes. But again, not being a real Camco authority, you'd have to double check me on that. The bass drum hoop where the pedal clamps on is slightly distorted just from time being clamped on. Oh, and one issue we talked, and we debated, is this factory or was this overdone? The bottom edge of the 12-inch tom has two minor little nicks in the bearing edge. But the reinforcement hoop in there, and for much as we can tell, this is factory, is not perfectly smooth. There's some like little chips and chunks out of it along the way, but it appears to be factory. The bearing edge seems fine other than a couple of those little issues, but we can fix that, but we're not touching it unless you want us to. So really cool vintage Camco kit. Columbus Percussion, 614-885-7372. Thank you.